Double. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for my second video, I would like to show you all my February book haul. So this is the first time I've ever borrowed anything from a library. Back in Indonesia, we don't have libraries, especially for my hometown. We don't really have a library system there, and I'm pretty sure they don't have English books there. Yeah, I hope you're not surprised by that fact, because there are no English books. It's not easy to find libraries back in Southeast Asia. So since I moved here, I'm going to take advantage of the system and use my partner's identity to borrow books here. And I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have 10 books to show you all today. So there is no order for this video. I'm just gonna show what is on this pile, okay? The first one is The Magic Fish by, I'm gonna butcher this name first of all, so I'm very sorry for all my Vietnamese besties. I will not read this correctly, so I'm very sorry for my Vietnamese besties. Trung Le Nguyen. It is a graphic novel that follows Tien. I'm gonna read the synopsis. Real life isn't a fairy tale. In fairy tales, the prince falls in love with the princess, but Tien has a different story to tell. His parents are refugees struggling to learn English, and he doesn't know how to come out to them in Vietnamese. Ooh, so yeah, this is queer, and I've read this. I give this 4 stars. I will link the book down below if you want to check it on Goodreads. It is a nice light read, very short, and I'm pretty sure you can finish this in a day. But I read this in a span of around 3 days because I read it with my boyfriend, and we both loved it. And our favorite character is this guy. Wait, I'm gonna show you a frame of this crazy sea guy that comes out of the sea looking like this. Look, yeah, that's our favorite character. So yeah, this is a fun read. Definitely highly recommend. The next book is also a book that I finished reading a couple of days ago, and it is by a new favorite author of mine, The Forest of Stolen Girls by June He. The first time I read a book by June He was last year, and it was an arc for the Red Palace, and I immediately fell in love with June He's atmospheric writing, and I really wanted to read her other books because she has 2 other books, and one of them is The Forest of Stolen Girls. I've heard good things about June He, and a lot of my mutuals on Twitter have praised her books. So when I saw this at the library, I was like, okay, I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna read a bit of the synopsis. The forest watches me, hostile and still, with remembering eyes. 1426 Joseon. Hwani's family has never been the same since she and her younger sister went missing and were later found unconscious in the forest near a gruesome crime scene. It's a mystery thriller, just like the Red Palace. If you want to know my thoughts, you can check out my Goodreads or wait for my wrap to dive in depth about this book. The third book is a book that I'm currently reading. It is a non-fiction book. It is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This is a memoir about Chanel Miller, or formerly known as Emily Doe. She is the survivor of the Stanford sexual assault case. I read her victim impact statement when it went viral, and I immediately cried my eyes out. And when I saw that she came out with a book, and after I saw like a bunch of mutuals on Twitter raving about it, I immediately wanted to read it. So yeah, when I saw it on the shelf at the library, yep, I'm taking it. Back to me. And so far I am 280 pages in, and I have a little bit left to finish it, and I will write my thoughts and feelings about this book on my Goodreads. or maybe on my wrap-up video for next month. Yes. Fourth book, also nonfiction, also a book that I've discovered from my mutuals on Twitter, and it is Ace by Angela Chen. It's a book about asexuality, and since this year I wanted to read more nonfiction, this was the book that I've picked up, and it's also something that I want to learn about and know more about. I don't really know much about asexuality, so this will be an insightful read for me. Fifth book, a book that came out last year in 2021, and it is The Inheritance of Orchidea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. It is a book about a family, the Montoyas. I don't know much about it, but I think it has something to do with the inheritance. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I think a friend of mine read it and gave it 4 stars, so I was like, yes, I'm gonna read that. As you can see, there's a theme, and it's all the books my mutuals have been raving about. So yes, when I saw it, I was like, why not? Next is also a book that came out last year. It's called Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. This is a sapphic, queer, YA historical fiction, follows 2 girls and a underground lesbian club called the Telegraph Club. You look at them, they're precious. I've heard good things about this, and it won a couple of awards. So yes, that's what intrigued me the first time. Wait, let me read the synopsis. 17-year-old Lily Hu can't remember exactly when the question took root, but the answer was in full bloom the moment she and Kathleen Miller walked under the flashing neon sign of a lesbian bar called Telegraph. Oh, I will elaborate on what the story is about in my February wrap-up, so hopefully I can read it by then. But for now, yes, Last Night at the Telegraph Club. So next is another book that I saw a local indie bookstore in Indonesia post about a lot, and it is The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Enriquez. I picked this book up because I saw this book floating around the Instagram of an indie bookstore in Jakarta that posts this book a lot. The cover is different from the one that they posted in their Instagram. This one is the US cover, and I think they posted the UK cover, and it's paperback. The illustration for that cover is way better. I will put it right here so y'all can see. It is a compilation of short stories, and I think it's horror. And I saw a bunch of my mutuals on Twitter also recommended this compilation of short stories, and they loved it. So yes, Dangers of Smoking in Bed. Next, it is a sequel of a YA fantasy that I've reviewed on my blog, and it is Redemptor by Jordan Ifweko. I have the UK paperback, but it's in Indonesia. I didn't bring it here, so I decided to borrow one from the library. I really wanted to read it. I really want to know how the series is concluded. If you don't know Redemptor, it is a story that follows a young girl named Tarisai and her being involved in this competition to be picked by the prince to be one of his council members or something. It is awesome. It is an African-based fantasy. Jordan Ifweko's writing is so beautiful. That's why I wanted to continue this series. So hopefully Redemptor can conclude this series well, but I don't know. I've read a bunch of mixed reviews about this, especially my friends. They've said that they don't really like the sequel compared to Redemptor. So hopefully it's great. Positive vibes, right? Positive vibes, y'all. So next is an adult fantasy book. It is Suzanne Clark's Piranesi. I don't know what the story is about. I've known bits of it from watching reviews of this book, and I've read reviews by my friends, and they all have recommended to not read the synopsis and just read it. So I'm just gonna follow their advice and just read it. I will not tell you anything about it. If you want to know, I will link to the book below so y'all can check out the synopsis, but I'm just gonna follow my friend's advice and not know anything. So Piranesi by Suzanne Clark. So last, it is a book that I've always wanted to read, and it is also a book that I have on my Kindle, but I'm not feeling my Kindle, so I'm borrowing the book, and it is Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. I've heard a lot of good things about Foundry Side. It is a series, and the third book is coming out this year. And I really want to get into a new series and read something by a new author, and Robert Jackson Bennett has been in my periphery for a very, very, very long time. So I'm starting it with this. I don't want to read the synopsis. I'm just going to dive into it. It's just me. So hopefully this is a good read. So yeah, Foundry Side, Robert Jackson Bennett. So yeah, that's my library haul, y'all. I'm happy to share all 10 books from the library that I've borrowed. So yeah, so that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye.